Into a world where conversations are charged with intensity and facts. The Lightning Strike Talk Radio with your host, Mohammed Fahim, broadcasting live from the heart of the city on Chicago's Progressive Talk Radio, WCPT 820 AM. Welcome to a radio show that charges through the airwaves with an electricity like no other. Here's your host, Mohammed Fahim.
Good morning, Chicago, and welcome to a rainy Sunday morning in Chicago. I'm already ahead of myself. Monday is going to be Memorial Day, and hopefully you all are ready for that with your picnic baskets ready. But remember that Memorial Day is to remember those who gave up their all for our safety and security in this country. So it's not going to be just a picnic day, folks. Make sure to go and visit with some of the local cemeteries over there where our veterans are buried and pay respect to them for what they have done for us as a country. Ken DeLuke will be joining me. He's on assignment again in Frankfurt. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning, everyone.
And John Arena finally decided to take a break, and he's not here today. He's spending time with his family. Our person of the week is Miguel Villarreal, and he's a cybersecurity expert, and he's going to talk about what is happening with threats to the U.S. government, and also for personally what we need to be aware of as far as cybersecurity is concerned. Very, very, very interesting discussion. But I wanted to start off with a couple of other things today, including, Netanyahu's defiance, which is a reckless gamble in Rafah now. In a dramatic and controversial decision, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has refused to comply with the International Court of Justice directive to halt military operations in Rafah, Gaza, right? This defiance not only exacerbates an already volatile situation, but it also raises profound questions about international law, humanitarian principles, and the long-term security of the region. If you want to join the conversation, the number to call in is 773-763-9278, 763-763-9278. You're tuned in to the Lightning Strike on WCPT 820 AM, Chicago's Progressive Talk radio station. I'm your host, Mohammed Fahim. So continuing this rant about Netanyahu, folks, I just can't understand what's happening now. The ICJ, International Court of Justice, is the principal judicial organ of the United Nations. Okay, so ICJ issues a provisional measure demanding an immediate cessation of military activities in Rafah. This order is grounded in international humanitarian law, which mandates the protection of civilians and the prohibition of indiscriminate attacks during armed conflicts. Now, by rejecting this directive, Netanyahu has signaled a stark disregard for the rules and norms that govern international conduct. And unfortunately, our president is again trying to back up Netanyahu by saying, Israel has got a right to defend itself. Okay, we'll have that conversation some other time. But to continue this now, the situation in Gaza, particularly in Rafah, has reached a critical juncture now. Reports from the United Nations indicate severe humanitarian distress with shortages of food, water, and medical supplies. This is, exacerbated by this ongoing conflict. The military operations have resulted in significant civilian casualties and displacement. Over 35,000 civilians have been killed, folks, including women and children. Almost 70% of them are women and children. What kind of defense is this? Now, this is further straining the already fragile humanitarian infrastructure in the region. Now, we also heard yesterday that the floating thing that the United States Army built over there to get some humanitarian aid into Gaza, that has actually now been blown away by some high winds and stuff. So we spent millions of dollars trying to get some humanitarian aid into Gaza through the sea. Now, why do we have to do that? Why are we giving these billions of dollars to Israel and we can't even ask them to open a crossing that we can get aid into the country? I'm unable to understand this, folks. Okay, this is not what America is, and America should not stand for it. Now, here's the consequences of the defiance now. Netanyahu's refusal to heed the ICJ's order is not merely a legal or procedural issue. It has profound human consequences. The continued military operations are likely to result in more civilian casualties and further destabilize Gaza. This defiance undermines the credibility of the international institutions designed to mediate and resolve such conflicts. That's why the United Nations was set up, right? This is setting a dangerous precedent for other states to ignore international rulings when convenient. So we have to really hold our leaders accountable, and we have to hold the Israeli leaders accountable. What is happening, man? What is happening? What is this world that we are living in, and we're going to be leaving this kind of as a legacy for our children and grandchildren?
Yeah, more importantly, why is the whole world trending towards authoritarianism, dictatorships?
Well,
I mean, that's crazy.
Here's the thing, Ken. Okay, from a strategic perspective now, Netanyahu's actions might be seen as a move to maintain a strong stance against Hamas and other militant groups in Gaza. However, this approach overlooks the broader implications for Israel's long-term security and international standing. 90% of the people in the world now are treating Israel as a pariah now. This is alienating the international community and flouting international law, risks, isolating Israel diplomatically, and may invite more severe consequences in international forums. Morally, the decision to continue this military operation, folks, in the face of clear evidence of humanitarian suffering, challenges the ethical foundations of Israel's policy in Gaza. It raises questions about the balance between security measures and the humanitarian cost borne by civilian populations. Okay, so here's the thing. It is imperative for Netanyahu and the Israeli government to reconsider their stance. Adhering to the ICJ's order would not only alleviate immediate human suffering, but also demonstrate a commitment to international law and the principles of human rights. Constructive engagement with international bodies and humanitarian organizations could pave the way for more sustainable and peaceful solutions to the conflict in Gaza. So here's the conclusion, Ken. Prime Minister Netanyahu's refusal to halt military operations in Rafah as demanded by the ICJ is a reckless gamble that jeopardizes both humanitarian and strategic interests. It is a moment for Israel to reflect on its responsibilities under international law and to seek pathways that prioritize human dignity and peace over short-term military objectives. The world is watching, and we are hoping for a shift towards reason, compassion, and lawful conduct in one of the most enduring and painful conflicts of our time. This is happening in 4K in front of our eyes. This is not something that we are reading in a history book or something. Every single day, this is happening. Now, Israel is kicking out international monitors. They are kicking out international peacekeepers. They are beating down on news people from all over the world. Just last week, they took away the camera and shut down the AP correspondent in Israel. Okay. Al Jazeera has already been kicked out of the country. So I don't know, man. What is happening? What are we doing to really make this world a safe place?
Well, we have our own act to get together. And let me just say this. I mean, you always hear at the beginning of every election cycle, oh, this is the most important election of our lives. Well, in this case, it literally is. It's not a blue versus red. It's not a Republican versus Democrat. It's not a conservative versus liberal. It's authoritarian dictatorship versus democracy. Everyone needs to really get out and educate these people. I watched on TV today, and it was amazing. They had this one lady on one of these talk shows where she voted for Biden last election cycle, and then she says, "Well, I think I'm going to vote for Trump." And the moderator asked her why, and she says something to the effect, "Oh, well, the economy and inflation and this that." And it's like people are listening to the lies that are being spewed on the right-wing media. They're just being brainwashed, basically, because, number one, the economy is the strongest it's ever been in the history of the United States. The Dow is the highest it's ever been. As far as inflation, it's lower than it was 5 years ago. Okay, as far as unemployment, it's the lowest in 50 years. And every metric that you can measure the strength of the economy and where we're headed right now, it's way, way, way positive. And when somebody says it, and I'm going to give a homework assignment, because like most of the people listening to the show, I'm more on the progressive side of the aisle than the other side. So when you talk to a friend and they come up with these, right-wing talking points, and they're telling everybody how, everything's so bad, throw the facts back in their face. And
well, Ken, here's the thing, though. What people look at, not all of these things. The common man is looking at the price of gas has gone up. The price of groceries has gone up. Okay. That is what the common man is looking at. Coming down today,
yeah, but you know what?
The gas is almost like $5, man. Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. They got to understand that it wouldn't matter who was the president. That's still going to happen. Economics and the price of gas is not controlled by the president of the United States. If anything, the other day he added another couple billion or million barrels of oil into the system to help bring the gas prices down.
From the strategic reserves. Okay, yeah, he released some more some more oil. But that's the point that the right wingers are latching on to, Ken. I mean, they look and say, hey, look at this. Everything is going to hell in a handbasket, and only the orange guard can fix it. Okay.
Of course, because their whole philosophy is make everybody afraid. Make everybody afraid. It's like Chicken Little. You're all going to die if you don't, do what we tell you to do. Mm-hmm. And in the long run, look at the actual plan that they have on the other side. I mean, if you look at
the actual plan is to make sure that there is going to be no more elections after this. The actual plan is that if anybody protests, we're going to get the military out to shoot them in the legs. And this is something that I'm not making up.
More importantly, this is even more important. He's talking to all the big corporate donors. Hey, donate to me and I'll cut your taxes even more. In the long run, it's just going to shoot the common man in the foot. He's helping his buddies to help finance him.
Okay, so
basically
here's the thing, Ken. Here's the thing, okay?
Yeah.
Most of the people now, the general public out there, are totally ticked off about Biden's this unwavering support for the war in the Middle East. It's not just the Muslims of Detroit and Michigan. Okay, young people have been protesting against the war everywhere, all over the country. If you look at what happened at Harvard recently, okay, people just walked out. And, the City University of New York, CUNY, the graduating students just turned their backs and walked out. Younger generation is really, really ticked off. And how does Biden gain or regain that trust? How do the Democrats regain that trust? I mean, as a Democrat, when I go out there...
The answer is very simple, very simple. After this trial is over with, you have to go on a very aggressive education program. I mean, he has accomplishments that he can laud and show people that he is really doing a phenomenal job, but he hasn't shared that basic knowledge with everybody. So once this trial is over with, you have to take all the funds, and they got a pretty good piggy bank of funds available for the election, is just put out the educational thing and let people get past their being brainwashed and understand what's going on. That's the way we get around this.
Okay, sounds good. And on that note, let's take a quick break, and we'll be back on the other side of the break with another breaking story that I want to talk about, folks. It is how our prison systems are being exploited by our corporate structure. And you'll be shocked to know that the Work Opportunity Tax Credit Program, which is a program that is intended to help employers hire people when they come out of the system, and for ex-offenders, is being exploited by the employers while they are in prison. So we'll be back right after this. The number to call in, 773-763-9231. 9278. This is The Lightning Strike. I'm your host, Mohammed Fahim.
Did you know there's an Illinois mandate that states by 2025, ComEd has to have 25% of the energy they deliver come from a green source? Because of this, plus the fees and taxes you've already paid on this program, if you qualify, you can get solar on your home at no out-of-pocket cost. This can mean an average savings on your electric bill of maybe 30 to 50%. More importantly, it would eliminate the uncertainty of ComEd raising your rates by whoever knows how much each year. Some people have noticed a 41% increase on their bill this spring, and ComEd has been asking for another 80% increase over the next 4 years. If your average bill is $200 a month now, maybe it could be reduced to $100 a month. Now, 5 years, would you rather pay $115 or possibly $400 to $500? If you'd like to see if you can qualify for this program, call Ken DeLuke at 312-617-8979. That's 312-617-8979. Help us save the environment and change that electric bill burden. That's 312-617-8979. Take advantage of this program while it's still available.
Are you a business looking for the right talent or a job seeker searching for your dream career? Look no further than the Center for Strategic Solutions, your workforce solution experts. Our experienced team at the Center for Strategic Solutions is dedicated to connecting employers with top-tier talent and helping job seekers find opportunities that truly align with their goals. We're more than just consultants. We're your partners in success. Ready to take your workforce to the next level or land that ideal job? Contact the Center for Strategic Solutions today at 1-847-306-9274 or visit us online at www.cfssus.com. The Center for Strategic Solutions, your bridge to a brighter future in the Windy City. The number to call is 847-306-9274 or send an email to info@cfssus.com. That is info@cfssus.com.
Welcome back to The Lightning Strike with Mohammed Fahim.
Good morning, folks, and welcome back to The Lightning Strike. Got Ken DeLuke on the line calling in on assignment from Frankfurt. We've been discussing what is happening with Netanyahu and the defiance for the ICJ ruling and how it is impacting not just Israel around the world, but even, us at the United States. As people are just laughing at us like, okay, so you're giving all of this money to Israel and they're thumbing their nose at you, not listening to you. And now they're inviting Netanyahu. And by the way, I'm going to have more on Netanyahu. You know, his last name is not really Netanyahu. How many people know that?
What is it?
It is Milakovich or something like that, man. His grandfather changed their names when they came in from Eastern Europe. Most people.
Well, I don't know why they put the net in the. I don't know why.
Nathan is God. Okay, so that's kind of like. But I have a list of about 20 Israeli politicians now who changed their names after they came to Israel, and so they wanted to sound more Semitic. These people have nothing to do with Semitism. They're beating down on the actual Semites who lived there for entire centuries and generations. We got Bill Shepard on the line also. Good morning, Bill.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I am always good. Man, I'm told that it's raining out there in Joliet today.
It's brutal out here right now.
Oh boy, I'm glad I missed it while driving in. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the new Jim Crow, which is the system now is forcing incarcerated people to work. Right. So if you go to prison, you have to do some kind of a job. You know, these people make like cents per hour, maybe 10, 12. They want to raise it. They want to increase it to 18 cents now at the federal level. Can you believe it? If they get paid at all? So they got poor working conditions, no safety regulations, and it is easy to control the workers because they can't complain or quit. Now, those who dare to speak out jeopardize their chances of parole or face punishment like solitary confinement. Remember, Eric, that we spoke about, Ken, for a while.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So he was put in solitary confinement for even daring to call me and speak with me. Okay. So here's the thing. Corporations now not only pay significantly less than minimum wage and provide no benefits, but they also receive a tax credit of $2,400. This is the work opportunity tax credit for hiring a risky target group. Now, this was supposed to be after they come out of prison. Guess what? There's $80 billion in our taxes that are annually going to these corporations to monetize forced labor. Putting this into perspective, the U.S. could end hunger and homelessness for less than this per year, approximately $50 billion. So the goods that these prisoners produce wind up in the supply chains of a dizzying array of products found in most American kitchens, from Frosted Flakes cereal and ballpark hot dogs to gold medal flour, Coca-Cola, and Riceland rice. They are on the shelves of virtually every supermarket in the country. And all we know about is, oh, these people make license plates in prison. No, they're making a lot more stuff. Most of the companies that are now buying directly from prisons are violating their own policies against the use of such labor, but it is completely legal, dating back largely to the need for labor to help rebuild the South's shattered economy after the Civil War. And this is enshrined in the Constitution by the 13th Amendment. Slavery and involuntary servitude are banned, except as punishment for a crime. So these people who are in prison now basically are the new slaves in the system, man. And some prisoners work on the same plantation soil where slaves harvested cotton, tobacco, and sugarcane more than 150 years ago, with some present-day images looking, very similar in the past. In Louisiana, which has one of the country's highest incarceration rates, men working on the farm line, quote unquote, still stoop over crops stretching far into the distance. If you go over there, you'll see them. You'll be like, am I transported back in time or what? There's this guy called Willie Ingram, who picked everything from cotton to okra during 51 years in the state penitentiary, man, known better as Angola. 51 years.
Hey, Mohammed, in addition to that, I mean, what you're talking about, from my understanding, it's even worse in the fact that not only are they getting, basically slave labor and getting profits from that, aren't they also getting some type of stipend or something from the government? You know more about that than I do.
No, that is what I was referring to. It's not a stipend. It is called the Work Opportunity Tax Credit, or WOTC for short. It is $2,400 in tax benefits to an employer to hire someone who is at an at-risk population. I mean,
so they're getting $2,400. So everyone's clear on this. They're getting $2,400 in the tax credit, plus they're getting labor at 18 cents an hour.
No, 18. Wow. Ken, not 18 cents, sir. It's actually less than 18. They want to raise it to 18 out of the goodness of their heart.
Oh, okay. Well, of course, that's only the right thing to do. I mean,
okay.
We're paying at least 18 cents an hour. But I mean, I think I'm going to open a business that can take advantage of that, because that's like a no-brainer, right?
Yep, except for the fact that it is 2024 and not 1980. Okay.
I was being a little sarcastic.
I know. Okay. So the Work Opportunity Tax Credit now is a federal tax credit available to employers who invest in American job seekers who have consistently faced barriers to employment. And obviously, people who are incarcerated, when they come out, I have worked extensively with this population in the past. Okay, they are considered a targeted group. And most people don't know this. The Illinois Department of Employment Security also has a bond that they can provide to an employer to hire a person who's coming out of the prison system. A bond up to $5,000 at no cost to the employer. How many people are aware of that?
I don't know. Maybe I need an intern here shortly.
Okay. So the Work Opportunity Tax Credit is authorized until December 31, 2025. And we need to make sure that there is some awareness out there, and people hold our our elected representatives accountable for what they are doing. I mean, they're constantly fighting, man. Look at what happened in Congress a couple of weeks back. Marjorie Taylor Greene looks at another member of Congress and starts talking about, oh, you got false eyelashes, so you're having difficulty reading. And that other member of Congress shoots right back and says, hey, you got a beach body or something like that, beach blonde body. And this is our representatives in Congress, folks. Oh, God. So if you want to join the conversation, feel free to call in 773-763-9278. I also want to talk about the God complex of the Indian Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, who is going in for his third term in leading India as the Prime Minister. So he's vying for a third term, like Prime Minister Nehru had 3 terms. And so Modi is now saying, oh, I'm going in for my third term. And here's the kicker, guys. This guy, in a recent interview, as recent as the 22nd of this month, okay, said something. He said, I don't believe I'm biologically born. Okay? Just listen to this. And this is something I can't even make this thing up, okay? Modi claims that he was not biologically born, but he was sent by God with a mission. Man, that is Hitler talk, okay? That's basically what Hitler used to talk about. And here's the thing, folks. This is in the world's largest democracy, okay? Come on, man. Get real. I don't know. We got Michelle calling in, and it's been a while since we spoke with Michelle. Michelle, good morning. Thank you so much for joining the conversation again. How are you doing?
Hi, Mohammed. I listen to every show. I follow everything. And, of course, I have to jump in when it's a prison issue. I want to tell you, don't forget that when people incarcerated are paid per hour at about 29 to 50 cents an hour. Also, the institution takes out what's called restitution, and that covers either their living or court fees. So they even only get like 40% of that. But I want to give you a more complete list of what is produced in prisons by people who are incarcerated. So there's a wood shop, and in the wood shops, they make things like the warden's personal desk, the governor's desk, custom trophy cases, stuff like that goes into the offices of the politicians. Then there's a print shop, and in the print shop, they make the driver's manuals and applications and visiting forms like drivers for the DMVs, all that kind of printed stuff for county courthouses. Then there's a sign shop. They make the street signs, so when you pass and you see Western and Kedzie and Pulaski, those street signs have been made in prisons. The stop signs, all the park signs, license plates for cars, as we know. Then there's a furniture shop. They make school desks and chairs. They make public park benches and public grills. They do boat docks for the lakes and rivers. They make prison bunk beds, as well as bunk beds for colleges. They make desks, tables, bunk beds, dorm furniture, furniture for public libraries and courthouses, tables, desks, chairs, benches. Then there's a soap shop, and they make soaps for bathrooms and laundry and detergent. So really, the bottom line is all these products that we see in society have been produced with labor that's, let's say, generously 50 cents an hour. And that is their incentive to keep people incarcerated.
Yeah, some of the...
Go ahead. Hello?
Go ahead.
Michelle, a quick question. While you're on the air, in fact, I was going to give you a call today. Could you give us an update on Eric's situation?
Well,
there is some restriction about talking about Eric Can.
Mohammed told you a little bit that Eric has been quite severely punished for speaking. So we are not speaking out at this time, and perhaps silence is the answer to your question.
Yeah.
All right. No, I appreciate that. I don't want to
Yeah,
comment
so
right now.
there are things that we have been working on in the background, Ken. But here's a list of some of the companies, folks. So when you go out there, please keep this in mind, okay? Some of these companies: Hillshire Farm, EB, Kroger, Sara Lee, Cargill, McDonald's, Flugra, Land O'Lakes, Target, Pepsi, Sam's Club, Russell Stover, Costco, Saputo, Ballpark Franks, Burger King, Cheerios, State Fair, the Whole Foods, Walmart, Aldi, DFA, Dairy Farmers of America. All these companies are using prison labor, man. Can you believe that? And they are taking advantage of some of these tax credits. What kind of world are we living in, folks? And why are we not talking about this? Why are we constantly just trying to bury our head in the sand and pretend like, oh, everything is hunky-dory? Okay. No matter who gets elected, whether it's Biden or Trump, no one is paying attention to these little things, folks. And we need to hold our our elected representatives accountable. The very word representative means they represent us. And here's the thing, Bill, if you look around, you're in Will County, I know that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so the last elections in Will County, the voter turnout was 18.8%. Not even 20%. So what we are doing is we are letting the tail wag the dog in our country by consistently electing these career politicians who have their own group of supporters or groupies who come out to vote. The rest of us can't even be bothered to come out to vote. So how can we complain if we don't even come out and exercise our primary right to elect our representatives? Folks, please pay attention to this. Elections are coming up in November. You need to start getting educated, folks. And the best thing to do is, like I said, keep on listening to Progressive Talk Radio. You're going to get a lot of good information over here. The right side is totally sold off to the devil. I'm so sorry, but that's what it is at this point. So 9:37, we'll be looking to have Miguel Villarreal join us shortly. Michelle, thank you for calling in and again for educating us on how badly our prison system is exploiting, our fellow citizens. I was, remember, I keep on saying this, that I was in a lunch with the Safer Foundation a few years back. And Safer Foundation is a great organization that helps people who are incarcerated who come out of prison. And they were appreciating employers who hire these ex-offenders in that lunch. And about a couple of hundred people in the room. And someone made a remark that, almost 70% of the people in this room did something wrong in their lives. It is just that they were not caught. So if someone is in prison, it doesn't mean that they were born bad, folks. They have got circumstances that led them to their choice in life that landed them in prison. And there's lots of people. Look at our late president, man. The guy is trying his best now not to end up in prison. I hope the decision comes in to where he spends at least some days inside in an orange jumpsuit. Okay. On that note, we'll take a quick break again. We'll be back on the other side of the break. You're listening to The Lightning Strike. I'm your host, Mohammed Fahim, on WCPT, Chicago's progressive talk radio station, where facts matter. And we are talking facts over here.
Hey folks, did you know there's a program in Illinois that if you qualify for it would allow you to get solar installed in your home at no out-of-pocket cost? The benefit to you would be a reduction of your electric bill, possibly as high as 30 to 50%, and more importantly, you would take out the uncertainty of almost guaranteed future price increases imposed from your electric company. If you'd like to see if you can qualify for this program, call Ken DeLuke at 312-617-8979. That's 312-617-8979. Help us save the environment and change that electric bill burden.
Are you a business looking for the right talent or a job seeker searching for your dream career? Look no further than the Center for Strategic Solutions, your workforce solution experts. Our experienced team at the Center for Strategic Solutions is dedicated to connecting employers with top-tier talent and helping job seekers find opportunities that truly align with their goals. We're more than just consultants. We're your partners in success. Ready to take your workforce to the next level or land that ideal job? Contact the Center for Strategic Solutions today at 1-847-306-9274 or visit us online at www.cfssus.com. The Center for Strategic Solutions, your bridge to a brighter future in the Windy City. The number to call is 847-306-9274 or send an email to info@cfssus.com. That is info@cfssus.com.
Welcome back to the Lightning Strike with Mohammed Fahim.
Good morning, folks, and welcome back to the Lightning Strike. I'm your host, Mohammed Fahim. Ken DeLuke and John Arena are not in the studio with me today. And the best thing that you can do is go to our website later on, which is www.TLS for the Lightning Strike, TLSchicago.com. We will be posting copies of the show on our website and also on our YouTube channel, which is TLS Chicago again on YouTube. We are also on Facebook. You can check us out on Facebook. Plenty of ways that you can interact with us. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, please go to our website, send in a request to come in as a guest, and we will be more than happy to talk to you first to see if you are on track with what we want to talk about or you're too far off the right. We had one guest like that who was so far off the reservation that we decided that, no, we need to talk to you first before we take you on. But today's person of the week is Miguel Villarreal, and we really did not talk to Miguel because we trusted Sheila that she spoke with Miguel. Sheila, good morning. You want to introduce our guest today?
Yes, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Ken, as well. I am really excited about our guest, our person of the week this week, because cybersecurity is so important to our country, to our nation, and also personal identity theft that happens every day, all day to so many people. Our guest today is Miguel Villarreal. He is a cyber expert. So the questions that people have are, how can I protect my personal identity? How serious are we from threat from other countries getting into our type of systems and things like that and infiltrating them? This is a person that can shed some light on that subject. So welcome to the show, Miguel.
Thank you guys for inviting me. Appreciate it.
Miguel, good morning. Hey, Miguel, I wanted to really get the conversation going. I know that Sheila has got a lot of questions for you, but I have a particularly important question. There's WhatsApp groups and all of that are out there who claim that they are secure and it is end-to-end encrypted and all of that. Recently, in my school's WhatsApp group was taken over by someone, and they basically took out all the admins and made themselves the admin. We had to go to another WhatsApp group. So how secure is WhatsApp, and how can someone come in and take over a WhatsApp account? How are they doing it?
Well, they're doing it because, the ability to decrypt encryption algorithms are coming to basically an end. So the math that is infused in the encryption protocol and algorithm, they're actually faster computers, machine learning. There's artificial intelligence that can actually stay up all night and look at different vectors, different unencryption capabilities for an encryption tunnel like WhatsApp, and that what they're doing today. That encrypted tunnel, which was VPN-like, was tremendously secure for a large amount of time. But with the rise of artificial intelligence, the rise of crypto GPUs, they could stay up all night dissecting that password, and within a week to a month, they can actually uncover that password because the math is on par. So that's basically how they did it.
So with something like Signal, for example? Is that going to be more secure than WhatsApp at this point, or is someone going to be just breaking into Signal also?
Yeah, Signal will be broken into very soon. I mean, listen, we're talking about multi-billion-dollar enterprises and healthcare systems that are being broken into. We're talking about the federal government that actually has more eyes on glass than any people in the world to protect the system they're getting hacked into. So basically, everyone is going to get hacked. You got to have that mentality. The Department of Defense for the United States government is preaching a new way of thinking. It's called zero trust. Trust nobody, assume breach at all times. And that perspective, that concept of thinking about being hacked today is going to get you to a place where you're building a network that has multiple layers of protection. And it's not just, the app is going to secure me. There's going to be a lot of things around identity that needs to be protected. There are now a lot of software tools that are coming out that are going to have multiple layers that will make sure that it can obscure the data. And there's a lot of games being played, deceptive technology to, lure you into these environments, but it's actually a fake environment. And now they know that a hacker is inside their network. So cybersecurity is the new gold because data is the oil. And so you're going to see a rise of that.
Okay, data has always been, the gold standard for anything, in today's world. We'll take a quick segue a little bit and come back to Miguel. So Miguel Villarreal is a security expert, a cybersecurity expert. He's our person of the week. And Sheila, thank you so much for bringing people of this caliber to the lightning strike. But I really want to talk to Bill for a couple of seconds. Bill, what is happening on the music scene in Chicago, man?
Hey, Mohammed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about your guest you had last week. She was awesome. After listening to her, I did Google, YouTube some of her songs.
Yeah, so, Sandy Red.
Great voice. Yeah, Sandy Red. And she'll be, at the Chicago.
I believe she's playing tomorrow at the winery.
Yep.
Yeah, she's playing at the winery tomorrow. Tickets, I did look, are still available, anywhere from $20 to $40. Well worth it. Yeah, she was awesome. Awesome guest, and definitely fit well with your program. And so I Googled and YouTube some songs. I'm like, man, she's awesome. So
she sure is. Yep. And again, thanks to Sheila for bringing guests of that caliber. Sheila, back to you. You got any questions for Miguel?
Wait, hold on 1 second. Before you go to Sheila again, I just want to ask Bill and say what we're doing here again. We're doing a basic Tinder versus The Voice type of program. We've already got one song in the can, and we'll be playing that next week. The idea is if you're a poet or a lyricist and you have a music thing to write, send an email to Bill at TLSchicago.com. That's our music guy who's on the line with us right now. And say lyrics in the line, and then give your lyrics in there. And then if you're a musician who has tunes that you want to have lyrics for, say need lyrics in the subject line, and leave your name and your phone number and your email address. And what we will do is we'll choose a set of lyrics every week, send it out to everybody, the same set of lyrics, and we'll make songs out of that. Then we'll vote on the best one, and whoever hits that pinnacle of being the best one, we're going to make an album out of, like the next 12 songs that we get in. So
yep, and you'll get a chance to take a picture with me, huh? Okay, so
Okay. That's the goal.
Okay, so Sheila, again, Bill and Ken, thank you for that little segue. I just wanted to keep it light today. But Sheila, you got any questions for Miguel?
Yeah, I do. I want people to understand, and I want Miguel to help people understand how important this cybersecurity is for our nation, because people think about personal identity theft and they know the heartache that they have to go to regain their identity. But Miguel, explain to us how widespread this is and how important, because I think people are asleep, not realizing that our country is literally at stake for some of the most important software. Could you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, so just think about it this way. As I said, data is the new oil. Everyone's out looking for data, particularly personal data. The more fingerprints that you leave out on the internet, basically with free apps and searching, they're building profiles about you. The more videos you upload to TikTok, the more messages you put through WhatsApp or a Signal. They're recording these things. They're actually able to siphon this, and they're building what they call personas. Personas is who you are. And as you've heard, the deep AI, deep fakes that are out there that can take your voice, take your data profile, because now they know your birth date. They're figuring out your social security numbers, your PII data, which is your personal data about your health. Now, all of a sudden, they're talking to Sheila. Well, that's Sheila's voice, that's Sheila's data, and how do they know right from wrong? So that's the new battle that will be fought, is us proving that we are who we say we are, and that's what everyone needs to be aware of. Basic passwords that are longer than 4 characters. Stay away from the simple things. Go to something that's complex, because your data is that important. Think about, like my dad used to tell me, your social security card, don't lose that, because if you did, you actually could be in compromise, where they could get a lot of information for you. Well, that's the same thing today. You need to think about your passwords that way. Enable multi-factor authentication. It's another layer of security. So if someone does hack your account or your identity, you have something that's challenging them, and it's going to clearly challenge that. Hey, are you who you are? And so we're in the day of validating who you are. You need to prove that, and you need to make sure that you're proving it correctly.
So, folks, again, Sheila, thank you. You go ahead, and you have a question. I've got so many questions from Miguel.
One quick question. What is our country doing? What is the United States doing to protect our security?
Good question. So the American government, from a Department of Defense perspective, is doing many things. Of course, some are super top secret, and they'll never reveal those things to you. But the things that are revealed, they have something called the Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification, CMMC. That is a framework of policies, procedures, and practices that they're implementing and putting pressure on consultants and people that do business with them, that they need to have all these things in line. And basically, minimum 17 controls all the way to, I think, 300 controls for a CMMC level 3. So these pressures that they're putting on contractors and people that do business with them, they're making sure that, hey, if you're going to win a contract and you're going to do business with us, you're going to have healthy cybersecurity hygiene, and you better be practicing it. And they're auditing people, and they're making sure that they're practicing. For many years, the government did not have anything in place to audit people, and so that's why they were getting hacked. That's why they were getting their top secrets information revealed, because the what they call the DIB, the Defense Industrial Base, did not have the practice of healthy cybersecurity, and the hackers were able to get into their systems to get to the DoD. And so that's about to change as they're putting mandates that you need to have these certifications in place.
So, Miguel, where does one go to get these certifications? So if it looks like it's an entirely new career field that has opened up, and how do people find out information about it? How do they get certified? Who certifies them? Could you please share some information on that?
Yeah, I mean, so a simple Google, in Google, you type in CMMC, cybersecurity, you're going to see a plethora of companies promoting and advertising their services. Actually, you want to look for companies that have the C3PAO, standard, basically, and those are companies that have proven to the Department of Defense that they are capable and certified that they can actually walk you through that. They're all around the world, different places in the United States of America, C3PO certified companies that have this. But let's say you can't afford to pay for, a C3PO to come and audit you and tell you what you're not doing right, and hiring a company to kind of help you get it through. Basic, harder passwords by making them longer, make them more complex. The simple passwords, stop it. Birthdays, grandma's name, all those simple things, change those things up, right? And then the next thing, add multi-factor authentication. Just doing those little two things right there will create enough headache for the hackers to say, you know what? They got some advice from some cybersecurity company. Let's look for something that's easier to deal with.
So, folks, when Miguel is talking about multi-factor authorization, again, I am guilty as charged with like anyone else. I'm like, why should I have this multi-factor things? Most banks and all that, they say, hey, you want to have this multi-factor thing, and we always ignore it. So please pay attention to that. Miguel, another quick question. I mean, man, I wish that you had called in earlier and we could have had a longer conversation on this. Okay, I definitely want you to come back in again if you can. And so when I go onto my browser is asking me, would you like me to remember this password? How secure is that? Should I do it or not?
Yeah, so, not to despair the browser manufacturers out there, right? But at the end of the day, there's a lot of man-in-the-middle techniques where the ability to cache your passwords and they get compromised is possible. Here's what I will say. Think about money that's in your pocket, and it's closer to you, right? It's in your wallet. You decide to take it out of your wallet and you want to put it in your pocket, but you want to show it a little bit. Do you think that's safe? Just naturally? The answer is no, right? So putting your passwords in a browser is making it a little bit more easier for them to get access to that money, right? So what you want to do is you want to put it in a wallet. And that wallet, you want to close it up. In your wallet, you want to actually put it in your front pocket rather than the back pocket. Back in my dad's days, I used to put it in the back pocket. Now these days, you want to put it in the front pocket. You want to see who's trying to get it now these days. You can't trust people. There's a lot of pickpockets out there. And I would say that putting passwords in a web page, unless you have what they call password access managers that integrate into the web page, where they actually are extensions of the encrypted software, then don't do it. I would say don't do it unless you actually have a password access manager that's tied to your web browser that can encrypt the password and make sure that it has logs so you could look at who logged in at what time. And then that password access manager also has multi-factor authentication where it's challenging you. Are you who you say you are? And as long as that's in place, then you can put it in a web browser. But if you don't have that system in place and you're just trying to store it in Microsoft as much as they're promoting, or Google or Chrome or Firefox or whatever, DuckDuckGo or whatever you're using, I would say it's almost like having money in your front pocket, but people can see it. You're kind of enticing. Come get it. I would say stay away.
Okay, thank you so much, folks.
Get a hold of you.
We are out of time, and I would love for Miguel to come back, and we got like 30 seconds, Miguel.
Real quick, I was just saying, if someone wanted to get a hold of you, is there a way for people to reach out to you and help you out?
Yeah. So if you want to go to www.villa, VILLA -tech.com, you'll see our company. We're based in Naperville, Illinois, and thank you guys for this opportunity.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Miguel. And folks, do visit our website, www.tlschicago.com, to come in and interact with us on the show over here. We'll be coming back again next Sunday, bright and early from 9 to 10. This is The Lightning Strike. I'm your host, Muhammad Fahim. Thank you so much for joining us, Sheila, Miguel, Ken, and Michelle for calling in.